Good afternoon and welcome to Jazzabrations Live. This is our third recording on Morris Media Studios Live. Yes, I am excited, but I am changing my word today to ecstatic because I have one of my jazz legends that I've honored in the past here on the show with me today. I am so happy to have her here. And she is being featured on our Jazz Vespers on the 24th. None other than Miss Pat Sligh. Thank you for joining me, Pat Sligh.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh my God, this has been such a long time coming for me. Besides talking to Bernie Pearl last on our inaugural show, Pat is now my second jazz legend that I'm having here on the show. I'm going to be off the chain excited because we're going to delve into some things about her, what we're going to envision coming up on the show, as well as we're going to be able to see some clips of her doing what she does best. So we're just going to jump right into this, Pat. You know, I'm a novice at this. You know, I tell people I'm not pretentious at all. I'm new at getting behind the camera because generally I'm behind the camera making things happen from afar. So I'm taking my time in my speech, yes, and I'm trying to put my words together properly because I want this to be one of the most incredible shows ever. So with that, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to be turning around and I'm going to be looking at Pat, who's sitting here to my left, and asking her some questions. So the first question that I would like to ask was, where were you born?
I was born in a little town called Salem in the state of Ohio.
Salem, Ohio. And when did you arrive to California?
Well, my husband and I arrived right after we got married in 1959, but they sent us back to New York, his job did, and we didn't settle in L.A. until 1962.
Wow. And so what age did you start singing?
8 years old. I won a talent contest at 8 years old, and that got me started.
Wow. 8 years old. So, and who were some of your influences?
Well, first of all, starting off, my dad was a guitarist, and he had a beautiful voice. My mother was a vocalist. She had a beautiful voice. And my oldest sister, she's the one that got me really interested in jazz because she had a lovely voice. She sounded so much like Sarah Vaughan. And because that was the first jazz vocalist that I ever heard. And my sister sounded so much like her.
What's your sister's name?
Roberta, and we called her Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So could we Google something out there about Roberta?
No, she passed away a long time ago. Yeah.
All righty. Yeah. And so, how did you get your stage name of Pat Sligh? Because we know that that's not your birth name.
No. Pat Sligh came because my mother's sister did not like my father. His name was Alden. And so since I came out a girl, they thought I was going to be a boy. I came out a girl. And rather than try to change the name, they just stuck an E on the end of Alden. So that got me Aldine. And my aunt refused to call me Aldine because she didn't like my dad. So she says her name is going to be Patricia. From that point on, she called me Patricia. Everybody else called me Pat, Patsy, PJ. So
you just stuck with Pat.
I just stuck that.
Okay, that's great. And now, we awarded you your Jazz Living Legend Award in April 30th of 2015.
Yes.
How has your life been impacted since receiving that award?
Well, receiving that award was so thrilling. I didn't believe you when you told me. I said, how in the world did I get to be a living legend? And you said, well, you've been singing all over the place, which I had, but I had been out of the business for 17 years because I had to stop everything to take care of my husband. He became ill. So I took those 17 years, and then he told me right before he passed, he said, don't die with your joy in you.
Wow.
He was a jazz pianist. He was an electrical engineer, but he loved jazz, and he played jazz piano. And we always performed together. And so with that, it took me about 6 months, but after he passed, then I decided, follow his direction and don't let my joy die in me, and my joy is singing. And so,
and that you can do for sure, dear.
Thank
That
you.
is awesome. Who would you like to sing with? Someone either who has passed or someone that's still here with us now.
Okay, this might surprise you, but I would have loved to have been able to sing with John Coltrane,
Oh yeah.
Miles Davis, Quincy Jones. He's still here, but I would have loved to have been able to sing with him. And
Well, we're going to put that out in the universe. Quincy Jones, she'd like to sing with you. Okay. I know you, Q.
and for more modern day musicians, I love James Leary. I love Jacques Lacheur, Michael Sauché, Bobby Pierce, Bobby West. And there's just so many until I'm not going to name anymore because I don't want anybody to become insulted that I didn't call their name.
Well, just let them know we were just getting a little general gist
Right.
of things.
Okay.
There are so many that you could possibly be singing with. What's your favorite performance venue?
Locally, I like the World Stage. I like the West. Regency West. I liked the Vision and Barbara Morrison's Performing Arts Studio. Those are the ones I have performed at, and I like those. I haven't gone much out into L.A. I know the Gardenia has a lot of our living legends singing there, but I have not attempted to sing
Venture there, or Catalina's or Big
Yeah,
Catalina.
Catalina. Yeah.
Well, there's so many places, and that's one of the things and the reason why I've created opportunities for us to be able to just have places where we can sing. When I partnered over at home and started doing those features there in 2015, and just making avenues for us to be able to come out and sing and enjoy that craft that you guys do. That's what's important to me, and the reason why I've even continued doing the series, because this series this year has been the most fulfilling for me, because I now have had the opportunity to have not only have honored you guys previously, but now to bring you back and have you perform for us and our new jazz audience. My church, Morningside United Church of Christ, my pastor, Mark, and his wife, Bonnie, are the most incredible individuals
Wonderful.
who have wrapped their arms around the Jazzabrations series and added our Jazz Vespers to it. And so we're looking so forward to you guys performing in 2 weeks.
Yes,
Wow, it is.
September 24th.
Oh my God, it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Can't believe it.
To RSVP, I have to tell you, it's 740-837-7377. 740 Vespers is the phone number to call in and get your tickets to this wonderful show. On the show, we have John B. Williams on bass. We have Bobby Spencer on sax. We have Clayton Cameron on drums and Bobby Pierce on piano. This is going to be the most eclectic performing artists together in one room. So you don't want to miss that. And we're honoring Miss Renee Fisher Mims, Mama Nene, as most people call her at the World Stage, and Mr. Sir Stanley Griggs, who I really, I don't know him, but I've been put in contact with him as, someone who has played with Bobby Blue Bland and, Lou Fulton. You just name the blues artists, and he's played and performed with them, and he's a bassist. So I'm looking forward to also, honoring him as well on that day. And they will become our 133rd and 134th legend that we've honored. So I'm so excited about that. Not sure, Felicia, when we'll break to go to her video. We could see a little bit of her video montage that you performed at the world stage, and just to give the listening audience a chance to be able to hear you before they see you next in 2 weeks. And if you want to call in, the number is 323-293-3375. I would love to hear some of my friends and family call in and just say hi as usual. I'm here in the studio. I have Aaron and Tony here in the studio with me as my in-studio audience. Mm-hmm. So please, if you want to call in, call in. But we're going to listen to her right now.
Oh, Skylar, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love could be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed? Skylar, have you seen a meadow green with spring, where my heart I just found out about love and I like it. Well, I like what you've been doing to me. I hold you close in my arms and I like it. Yes, I like it. Oh, what a beautiful picture I see. And it's a one-time only. It's a lifetime deal. And I know it's real. I can tell by the way that right now I'm living it up and I like it. Yes, I like it. Hey, you, give me a clue. What is this love doing to you? It's like you could be like me too. Oh, love walk right here and throw the shadows away. Love walk right here and bright my sunniest day. One magic moment and my heart seemed to know that love said hello. No, not a word was spoken. One look and I began to dance. One look and I had found my future at last. One look and I had found the world completely new. When love walked in with you, I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you if I should lose you, go away on this summer's day, then you might as well take the sun away. And the birds that flew in the summer sky when our love was blue and our hopes were high, and the days were young and the nights were long, and the moon stood still for the nightbird's song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make your day like no day has been or will be again. We'll sail on the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. But if you go, no, I won't cry, for the good is gone, and no word goodbye. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away.
Wow. See, that's just a little bit of what you're going to see on the 25th. Mrs. Pat Sligh singing and doing her thing for us at our Jazzabrations Jazz Vespers.
I'm looking so forward to it. I'm excited.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
So, we'll get back to our questions. You are performing locally? Because
Yes.
that was at the World Stage.
Yes.
And you'll be performing for us on the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you would like to tell our audience about you that they don't know?
Well, that little clip that you saw, that was my first one-woman show, and it was called All About Love. And James Leary was on bass, and Fritz Wise was on drums, and the marvelous Howlett Smith was on keyboard.
He's one of our legends as well.
Oh, God, he's so fabulous. And I still go to workshops because I don't feel that you're ever done learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to Barbara Morrison's workshop on Wednesdays. I go to Howlett Smith's workshop on Tuesdays. And it never ceases to amaze me how much more you can learn from those professionals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and it's been a godsend for me.
Absolutely. That's great. How do people follow you on social media?
Well, when I produce my own shows, I do all of the
Marketing and
marketing and advertising, and then I do put it on Facebook and on Jazzabrations, and that's basically what I do.
Do you accept anyone to be your friends on Facebook because you are an entertainer, or are you the entertainer that says, "Oh, I don't know who that is, so I'm not accepting you as my friend"?
You describe me perfectly, because I'm sort of like a private kind of person. I'm gregarious, but I'm also very private, and so if I don't recognize you, I just don't accept you as a friend. If somebody else tells me about somebody who wants to be my friend, then yes, I will accept them.
Okay, because that brings me to the point of social media and marketing. Mm-hmm. For the past 7 years, I've been like this one-woman marketeer trying to get all this information out to the world and internationally. I've done a pretty good job.
You're phenomenal. Yeah,
oh, thank
you're
you.
phenomenal.
But sometimes you want to push so much out there and make sure that so many more people know it. So with social media, what I'm now learning and finding out is what I need to help the legends in knowing is that you can have your personal page, but I'm going to help you create a fan page so that people who want to follow you can just like that page. They don't have to be your friend on your personal page, but on your fan page, you will then post things to that page so that they'll know where you're performing.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Like they'll know that you're out at the World Stage on Tuesdays for the class or Wednesdays at Barbara Morrison. So that internationally, when people, I get a lot of calls, you know, and I have to tell people a lot of times that, you know what, I'm not their managers. And if you like, I could call them and put them in contact with them and, you know, to be able to book you for different events or shows. I am amazed at the amount of calls that I do receive around the legends that I've honored. And a story I like to tell a lot is Jimmy Smith, the drummer. And Jimmy's not on Facebook. Jimmy rarely likes to even carry a phone. But I created
I don't blame you.
a Facebook page for him and called it Friends and Fans of Jimmy Smith. Well, someone from overseas reached out to that page and got in touch with me, and I put Jimmy in touch with them. Well, what became of that was that Jimmy ended up doing 3 CDs, going back to Japan and doing 3 CDs. And he came back and he's like, hey, I got here, these are just for you, because you put me in touch with them people and they wouldn't have known me that I was home or nothing.
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
Yes.
Thank you, God, for giving me a validation for doing the work, because I had started that out in the beginning. I made a page for him, and I made a page for Clora Bryant, and I made a page for Rose Gales. But trying to keep up with that stuff, after them 3, I was like, Jesus, you got to give me some help, because I can't make no more.
You're dynamic, though, and I can see why people come to you, because you're so creative. And this living legend thing has just taken on its own and has just sprouted wings and is starting to fly with you
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
helm.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm proud of you.
I am so happy that I'm able to just do the work. And it all stemmed from just trying to figure out how we can help protect our legacies.
Yes.
You know, because you guys are giving so much to the world with your music and your songs. Every time you sing, every time you record somewhere, that's part of that's Jana. Hey, you need to call
That's right.
in, girl.
That's right.
That's part of her legacy that you're leaving. And so it's important, and that's what I wanted to communicate. It's so important that our families take care of you and your legacy that you build now while you're alive.
Right.
That when you're gone, they can't do anything.
Right.
Because if somebody across the world wanted to erect a website, PatSligh.com, and start collecting money from all of us, because they will tell us that, you know, you told them to do it,
Right.
and you left this instruction, and we wouldn't have a clue, because that's not something that you told us.
Right.
But because they owned your domain name, PatSligh.com, well, how would we respond?
Yeah.
We wouldn't know.
Wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
Wouldn't have a leg to stand on. So that's how I started this, with just the basic knowledge of buy your name. Your stage name, Pat Sligh, is what you've been doing this business with. And it only costs like $7 to $8 to keep it per year.
Okay.
That stays within your family, so that when you are no longer here with us, your family can build a website and a foundation to keep your legacy going on and keep your memory going on in your family. That's what it's about, because the internet is not even 35 years old.
Right.
And so this tool is the way that we get this information out to the world.
Yes.
And so that's why this work became so important to me. And like I told in the past, I had a $25,000 GoDaddy card that as I started honoring the legends, I would ask them, do you own your name? They would say, no. I said, oh, well, let me get it. And whenever you, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay me. Whenever you want to do something with it, let me know, and I'll just pass it on to you. Because it became so important for me to at least snatch it out of internet hell.
Right.
While I'm promoting and marketing you, so somebody else couldn't do it. So that's why it was so important. So just that
That's
bare
great
thing.
information.
Yeah.
Great information.
And that's what started driving this. And I said, well, let me just start it. We started having conversations about it when Buddy Collette was alive. And he, Clora Bryant, and Michael White were the first three legends that started the conversation with me. But it stemmed from somebody trying to steal somebody's legacy that we know very well.
Yes.
And that caused me to get angry first. And then I
Set you
said,
on
okay,
fire, right?
what are you going to do with this anger? You need to talk about it. You need to get the word out. You need to make sure people understand it. You need to make sure that they know that something as simple as a website being erected
Right.
and people asking for money all over the world in your name and your family not benefiting from it is the
Right.
result of that. So that's why I do this, and that's why it's Living Legends Foundation. And that's the reason why, because I want to talk to the families of the legends that are alive when I honor them. Because once I start promoting, I go hard. I'm international, and I built that platform up that way so that, yeah, people don't know you in New York or Chicago or Dallas. They know you here in LA, but they know you internationally because when I put out a flyer, that flyer goes out on all these jazz pages all over the world. And so that's why this work has been so important to me.
It's phenomenal.
And I thank you for the opportunity to have honored you on that day, April the 30th. That's probably what I'll do. Start doing, Felicia, when I have the legends on that I've honored previously. I'll send you their card that showed the day when I honored them. So like 2014, she was in 2015, because now I'm like 7 years in. We're up to 134. So a lot of times I can't remember. I have to go to my phone and say, okay, when did I do that? Okay, when? All right, gotcha. But how would you like to be remembered?
Wow.
That's that question that I know sounds a little eerie.
Yeah. But I would like people to remember. I'm gonna steal from a quote that Sarah Vaughan gave. I would like to be remembered as, well, first of all, a loving person, and second, a singer who was a singer of good songs in good taste. And if I can accomplish that, that would be enough for me.
Great. Now, do you have a CD that you produced?
No, I do not.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, that little clip that you saw, my son recorded that for me because it was my first show and everything. And then I did another one-woman show, Remembering Sassy, and I did that last year and this year, for Barbara Morrison's Jazz Month. And he recorded that one as well. But I asked Mr. Smith, Howlett Smith, if I could, I would like to take some of his originals and do a CD. And he gave me that permission, so.
Oh, my God. Okay, so we need to make that happen. You know what just popped into my head? Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to tell you about something that just popped into my head when you said that.
Okay.
OMG, just wait. We'll be right back. Call us in, 323-293-3375. Welcome back. Yes, my aha moment. As Pat was talking about not having her first CD recorded, I immediately, something popped into my brain. You know, when I get a little bug into my ear, it just does something. So I thought about Nolan Shahid, if you're out there, I'm going to be giving you a call because I have an idea. I'm going to come up with money to create CDs for those legends that we've honored who want to produce their first CD. If you guys know it or not, Art Hillary had just produced his one and only CD. This was a man who has the works of arts is his CD, but he had scores and scores of music that he arranged, wrote, conducted. And Art was 80-something when he passed away. So when you just said that to me, that you did not have a CD, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make a way. If you'd like to, I'm going to create a page. If you'd like to donate money to help me to create CDs for the legends that have not produced their first CD, hit me up. Hit me up on Jazzabrations Live on Facebook, or hit me up on my Jazz Living Legend page, and let's figure this out. Let's work this out. We can do this. We have a legend, Nolan Shahid, who has a studio in Pasadena. I'm going to call you, Nolan, and I'm going to see if I can get studio time with you to be able to create these projects. You tell me how much it costs, and I will go and get the money. How about that? And then we'll market these CDs and sell them and partner with them and give them proceeds to be able to live now. Money for them to be able to live on now. That's one of the projects that I think I'm going to work on. There you have it.
You're incredible, girl.
I'm going to do it because when you said that, something just struck my heart. Is that because you're singing and you're performing and your music needs to be heard all over the world. That's one of those mediums, a CD. Mm-hmm. I remember Barbara Morrison telling me that piece of plastic right there will never spoil.
Right.
So she always kept CDs, and she always, everywhere she goes, she would sell CDs. Mm-hmm. So that is a way for you to have a revenue stream as well as a legacy building.
Brilliant.
So there it is. I put it out there in the universe, and you guys know what happens when I put something out there in the universe. I'm going to make it happen. And so do you feel that jazz is in good hands with this next generation that we have left?
I absolutely do. The Dean family, they are producing young jazz artists that are out of this world already.
Yes.
And they're very, very young. And I'm so impressed with some of the youngsters that come in playing their instruments. I know World Stage is starting to have youngsters come in who are learning the craft, and they are out of sight. It's thrilling. And so I know it's in good hands. I know it's in good hands.
And I am a part of a foundation, the Charles Dola Coker Jazz Scholarship Foundation with Sybil Coker. Mm-hmm. And we give out scholarships to young jazz musicians. And I'm putting this out here. Go to our website, Dolo, D-O-L-O, Coker, C-O-K-E-R, jazz.org. Our auditions are in March every year at Barbara Morrison's. We have a jazz clinic in February every year. So everyone out there, if you got grandkids or nieces and nephews that want to play this jazz music, well, we have a venue and an opportunity for them that awards them with scholarship money to be able to help them to continue to do this work in jazz. So that's how Sybil has decided to keep her husband's legacy alive. And Charles Dola Coker was a musician's musician. He was an arranger. And his music, we found out, is being sold, unbeknownst to her, all over the world, because that's how phenomenal he was. Yeah. But again, that's why this work became so important to me, because had she had control of his music before he passed, then no one would be able to be selling it now without her organization being the benefit, the reaper of that work of art. And so, you know, I'm excited to have gotten involved with the Dolo Coker so that I know that we can keep the pipeline of jazz musicians going. As I'm doing this work over here, honoring those that are our seniors, they can help me encourage our young generation and to keep them going. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about just having this medium to be able to bring you guys in the studio one by one and sit down and have my own conversation with you. You know, 7 years ago, I probably wouldn't have even gotten behind this mic because I just was not having it. I was scared. I was frightened. But, you know, years has changed, and I've become a Toastmaster. So being a Toastmaster has helped me get over the fear of speaking publicly. I'm working on my Competent Communicator, which is an award that you achieve after having done 10 speeches. So as soon as I get that, then I'm going to be blotting my competent communicator skills. But as you can see, I'm not afraid anymore, so I can at least get in front of the mic. But I'm surprised that no one has called in, but it's okay because, you know, I know Sundays are pretty busy, and my First Lady and pastor are out of town because I know they would have at least called me to say, hey, Linda. But it's okay. So I'm enjoying this time sitting here talking to Pat and being encouraged by just the fact that we and you are here giving back.
Right. May I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
About Miss Linda? She is on the board of the Duke Ellington Society, and she's one of those people who we can't do without. And they voted me on the board, but I was so thrilled that I could serve on the same board with you, with the Duke Ellington Society. And I think that's another venue to bring in young people. So with the Dolo Coker and all. So, lady.
That's right. Well, you're going to be performing for our Duke Ellington.
Yeah,
that's why I said I was something else. That's right. Okay. Duke Ellington, DESSocal.com is our website for Duke Ellington. Pat is actually performing for our monthly meeting next Saturday, and it's from 2 to 5 at Emmanuel Presbyterian Church on Wilshire, across the street from UTLA. And so when I said to her earlier, you're performing somewhere else, and she's like, no, I'm not. Now we just remembered that she's going to be our featured performer at our Duke Ellington meeting next week. So if you're available, if you know about the Duke Ellington Society, DESSocal.com is our website. I haven't updated it, which I will today now that I put it out there, to put our meeting notice on there with the new information. But yes, that's where you'll be performing next week.
Right.
So come out and see her there as well. And you can find her on Facebook at Pat Sligh. She may not. I tell you what, this is a way for us to do this test marketing. How many friends does Pat have? Can anybody look on her page and tell me how many friends she has really quickly? So if you have so many friends, and if people send you a friend request and they say they saw you on the show, Jazzabrations, or they know me, then you will accept them as your friends to grow your friend audience.
Right.
Because what I found out, I had my first Facebook page was 5,000. That's my Linda Morgan page.
My God.
When I reached that 5,000 and I could no longer have any more friends on there, I turned that page into a friend page, to a fan page now. Now it has about 5,600 people on there. You barely hear from them. They barely talk to you or anything.
Right, right.
And so I created this new page, and I said, oh, no, this page is only going to be for people who know me, because those are the ones who are going to be the ones who are going to talk to me and support me and blah, blah, blah. But what I found out, and you have seen me do some posts on Facebook, is that people who request to be your friends generally want to follow you and what you do.
Right.
So don't hold back on requesting their friends. If they get crazy, you can always unfriend them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but don't limit yourself from having them on your page as a friend, as someone, as a fan of your work.
Right.
Because now you're an artist. You're out there, you're singing, and they want to be able to follow you and be able to find out how they can keep up with you. So we're not going to limit having them. So if you want to be Pat's friend, just send her a friend request, and then she's going to send you back a question, how you know me, if she doesn't know you.
Right.
That way, she feels comfortable, at least that you are a friend of mine, or you saw her here on the show or something like that, so that we can build your fan page up. And I'm going to get with Jana. That's right, Miss Jana Wilson. I'm going to get with you, and we're going to create a fan page for your mom so that people can start following her on that fan page. Okay? That's a deal? That's a deal. Okay. But I know we have a special day that we go down to City Council every year. I'm grateful for Herb Wesson for allocating a special day for the Living Legends in June of every year. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I really want to promote more, to get more participation. I know that one year when I took a bus, we all went out there on a bus. And maybe that's the kind of participation it takes. Huh? What were you guys saying? Okay, my in-studio audience is talking to me.
We're talking each other.
Okay. But to be able to promote that event annually, this will be our 5th year in 2018, going to City Council and being recognized in June for the African American Music Appreciation Month. Most people have forgotten that it was changed from Black Music Month to African American Music Appreciation Month. And I'm grateful for us to have that opportunity to go out there every year and be recognized and served.
That's wonderful.
And so I know we're almost down, and it's 10 minutes into the show, and I know you have to get out of here and go. But I am so happy that you stopped by.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And visited
this has been
me.
Fun.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for you to wow us on September the 24th. All of your friends call in and get your tickets at 740-837-7377. I know that you're not going to have Pat out there singing to people she don't know. So all of her friends call in. I will take your calls after the show. I have tickets available. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you some tickets. Oh, so in case you see somebody and you want to have them to have tickets, you'll have some on hand.
Wonderful.
But we look forward to a great show. This is our 9th one in our series. Cannot believe that I booked this a year ago when I called everybody and asked to put out the request for this series, that we are now in our 9th month. I'm already starting to think about 2018. And what we've decided, because we have young musicians that are stellar within my church, Latrice Lawrence and Pam Johnson and Quentin Ziegler on piano, that I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do a legend show, and then I'm going to do a young lion show.
Excellent.
And then that way we get to diversify the audience even more by having them. And I have a lot of young lion friends like Charlotte Pope, who barely likes to get behind the microphone, but
right.
You're going to be one of them shows too, Miss Pope. Angie Wells, Cher Marie Klein, Ava. There's so many other young lions that, they're nowhere near 65. Mm-mm. So we definitely want to be able to keep them in the pipeline as well, and have them to come and be a part of the Jazz Vespers for 2018. So look out, y'all. Get ready to save your dates and be ready for that. But I'm going to take a quick break so that you can get going to your next event. Tell everybody I said hello. I won't be able to make it because I'm here at the show, but I'm so happy that you decided to join me today.
Well, I admire you so much. You're a phenomenal woman, period. Then you are so instrumental in keeping this jazz alive. You are so instrumental, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Don't make me cry. We can't be crying on this set.
Don't cry. Don't mess up the makeup.
That's one of the reasons why I don't wear makeup, because I cry a lot. But thank you, and
Well,
I look
thank
forward
you.
to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
We'll take a quick break.
Bye-bye.
Wow, I am so grateful that Pat was able to stop by the studio today and for me to have the opportunity to be able to speak with her. I am drying my eyes because she made me cry, but otherwise, I am totally, totally ecstatic. Now, I'm going to spend this last 10 minutes talking about someone who has brought up an opportunity for me to be able to help pay for this show. I have a phenomenal friend artist by the name of Emmy Lou. Emmy Lou and I used to do art and jazz extravaganzas out at his Beverly Hills art studio. And so when he found out that I was continuing to do my shows, he asked me if I would want to partner again to be able to raise proceeds to help me pay for the radio show, because of course this show is not free. And so at our event on the 24th, he will bring some jazz art pieces. And we will do maybe like a little auction out in the patio when we finish the show to raise money for helping me to pay for this show. The proceeds also help with the ministry of putting on the Vespers each month. So hopefully I will have a lot of art buying friends that will come out and take some of these pieces home with you. They are phenomenal. When you see them up close and personal, they are amazing. You could go to his website, emmylougalleries.com, and take a look at some before the show in 2 weeks and decide already which ones you would like to purchase to help us to be able to pay for this show and as well as to continue with the Vespers series. I'm looking so forward to seeing you all on the 24th. I'm looking forward to just having more amazing events that focus on the legacies of our jazz and blues legends that we've honored at the Living Legend Foundation. Our event venue is Morningside United Church of Christ, 8722 Crenshaw Boulevard, right on the corner of 88th and Crenshaw. We'd love to have you come out. The phones can ring off the hook at 740-837-7377. And that's 740 Vespers is the phone number. I was able to get that number. Yay. But anyway, I am so excited. This has been my third show in this series. I'm looking so forward to next week. Mary Bogue and Claude Hall and Rita Edmonds will be joining me next week. I have 3 guests. Felicia, it's warming up there, calling me off the chain. But yes, Mary Bogue and Claude Hall have a show coming up that they wanted to promote for October. And Mary is one of the jazz and blues legends that I've honored in the past. So I'll be able to get her in the studio and ask her the questions that I need to ask her as a featured legend. And then we'll be able to talk to Claude and Rita Edmonds about who they are and what they do. Rita Edmonds is one of those young lions as well that we'll be featuring next year in our series. So you can start looking these names up on Facebook. Mary, Bogue, Claude, Claud Hall, and Rita Edmond, Edmond. All of them will be with me next week. And so I'm just wondering who's out there in Radio Land. Now I'm being silly because I'm down. Yes, I'm down to the last part of the show. I want to thank you again. You're on Jazzabrations Live. I'm here every Sunday from 3 to 4, except for on the 24th, I will be at 8:30 in the morning because that will be the day of the show. Look forward to you all joining us. Have a great day and have a great day. Bye-bye.